Good morning, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for being here. This is not how we planned it, but I think we are making the best of the situation. So we're going to do an abbreviated Torah service starting now. So the first thing we'll do is the presentation of the Talit.
Tell us about the Talit.
Do you want to, or you want me to?
She can't get it out.
Okay.
I can.
All right.
Maybe not.
Okay.
This was my father's, who would be so proud of Ansley today. He loved Barbara and Lizzie so much, and I give it to you with his great blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu netatev b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen. And I wore this at my Bat Mitzvah 33 years ago. Mm-hmm. And Ansley is named after Abraham. You may be seated. And you may put this down. Okay. Yeah. All right. For the first aliyah, I call my sister Esther Bat Eliyahu David Zipporah. Okay. And Dad, you're on.
Baruch hu et Adonai hambarach.
Baruch Adonai hambarak leolam ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai hambarach le'olam ba'ed. Asher bochar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vayomer Adonai el Avram lech lecha me'artzecha umimoladetecha umibeit aviha el haaretz asher arecha v'nesha legoy gadol ve'avara rechecha va'agadelal shemecha v'haye beracha ve'avarecha mevarechecha kalelha ha'or v'nivrehu ve'ha'kol mishpachot ha'adama.
Well done, Lizzie.
Thank you.
Yasher Koach.
Well done.
You say
Well
Yasher
done,
Koach, which means with great strength.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torat emet. V'hayei olam notah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Thank you so much. For the second aliyah, I call myself Me'ira Bat Eliyahu David V'Zipporah, and for the honor of the blessing, Chaim ben Avram and Sarah Edvard Omer.
Baruch et Adonai hambarach.
Baruch Adonai hambarak leolam ba'ed.
Baruch atah
hambarak leolam ba'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen. Vayelech Avram ka'asher diber elav Adonai v'yitlocho lohot ve'Avram ban hameh shanim shana v'tzetohu me'aharan ve'yikach Avram et Sarai ishtaho v'yitloho ben achiv ve'el kaver husha asher ahashu ve'et hanefesh asher asuhu baharan ve'atsuhu lalachem artsa hakanaan ve'yevohu artsa kanaan ve'yevohor Avram baharetz ahad mikom shechein Ve'han ve'lohon more, ve'ahavin ahas ba'aretz.
Yasher Koach, look at you.
Third aliyah, we call up our Bat Mitzvah. Ahava Rut Bat Be'ira and Chayim.
Baruch Adonai Havara.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havara Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bahar Banu Mekol Hamim V'tanatu
V'natan
Hanu
lanu.
Et Horato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayera Adonai El Avram. Vayomer Lizaracha Etain Et Haaretz Hazot. Vayiven Sham Mizbeach La Adonai Hanira Elav. Vayetek Misham Hahara Mikadem Levet El Vayet Ahalo. Beit El Miyam V'Ha'ai Mikadem Vayiven Sham Mizbeach La Adonai Vayikra B'Shem Adonai. Vayisa Avram Haloch V'Nasoa Hanegbai. Vayahi Ra'av Ba'aretz. Vayered Avram Mitzrama Lagor Sham. Ki Chaved Hara'av Ba'aretz. Vayahi Ka'asher Hikriv Lavo. I always lose my line here. Ki
Mitzvah.
Mitzrama Vayomer El Sarai Ishto Hine Na. Yadati Ki Isha Yifat Mare At. Yehaya Ki Yeru Otach Hamitzrim Ve'amru Ishto Zot. Ve'hargu Otah Ve'otach Yehayu.
Imri.
Imri Na Achoti At Levo Yitav Va'avarech Yehayu Ba Nafshi Big Lalech.
Yasher Koach.
The Lord said to Abram, "Go forth from your native land and from your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and curse him that curses you. And all the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you." Abram went forth as God had commanded him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran.
Same as you.
How you feel?
Yeah.
Abram took his wife Sarah and his brother's son Lot and all the wealth that they had amassed and the persons that they had acquired in Haran. They set out for the land of Canaan. When they arrived at the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land as far as the site of Shechem at the terebinth of Moreh. The Canaanites were then in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "I will assign this land to your offspring." And he built an altar there to the Lord and appeared before him. From here he moved on to the hill country east of Bethel and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And he built there an altar to the Lord and invoked the Lord by name. Then Abraham journeyed by stages through the Negev.
Thank you.
When I studied this portion, I came across where Abraham tells Sarah to lie about him being her husband. This made me think about times when it's okay to lie. In one commentary, a rabbi said that Abraham, quote, should have trusted that God would save him, his wife, and his belongings, unquote. But Abraham shouldn't only count on God to save the day. My mom's childhood rabbi, Stephen Fuchs, used to say, pray if everything depends on God, but live if everything depends on us. God gave us another ability to assess the situation and take action when necessary. If Abraham didn't lie, he might have been killed, and Sarah might have been taken advantage of by the Egyptians at the ripe age of 65. She's almost as young looking as my mother. Even though that didn't happen, Abraham couldn't have predicted the future to see that they would have been left off the hook. Another example of when it's right to lie is when the brave people who hid Jews in Europe in the 1940s. If they trusted in God, a lot more people would have died because they didn't take action. They did the right thing to fight against injustice and save innocent people from the Nazis. However, just because we can lie doesn't mean we should, even if lying seems easier. We need to be more truthful whenever possible. For example, when doing my schoolwork, I'm truthful in doing my own work and what I produce. It might be easier to lie and plagiarize, but in the end, it would deprive me of learning the material. In closing, I think Abraham did the right thing in lying based on circumstance. Preserving life is important, and he did what was necessary.
It was 30 years ago, plus a couple of weeks, when I had my Bat Mitzvah ceremony. My Torah portion was Moses' final benediction to the Israelites at the end of the book of Deuteronomy. This is the part nobody really talks about. We all know that Moses led the Jews out of Egypt into the Holy Land, but he never entered it himself. Moses didn't make it to Israel. I was a little luckier than he was. My trip to Israel happened 25 years ago, minus a couple of weeks. I was a freshman in college, just turned 18, another milestone of adulthood. Both Jewish law and U.S. law agreed that I was an adult, but I can't say I really felt like one. There was still a lot that felt very up in the air about where life would take me and what I wanted my future to hold. It wasn't until later that I figured out that becoming an adult doesn't mean you suddenly have all the answers. It just means hopefully that you're strong enough in your sense of self to go find them, and to deal with the unexpected twists and turns in the road you're bound to come along the way. Your portion talks about those twists and turns. It takes us back to the beginning, before Moses and his 40 years in the desert, before Joseph came to Egypt in the first place. Before Jacob and Esau and Isaac, there was Abraham, being told by God to pack up his whole life and go to a promised land he'd never even heard of. Couldn't have been easy to leave everything familiar behind, but he knew what God wanted him to do, and he didn't whine or argue. He just did what had to be done. In the past couple of years, we've all had to face a lot of situations that we never expected. Situations that forced us to do things and make choices that were definitely not part of our plans. We've gone through a lot. You've gone through a lot. Bat Mitzvah or not, you're still our little girl, even as you tower over us. And all we want in the world is to make sure you're safe and happy. But sometimes things happen that are out of our control. I wish I could tell you it gets better or easier, but it doesn't. Sometimes life is going to surprise you or hurt you or push you further away from the things you want. But balancing that out on the other side of the scale is you. Really gonna try to get through this. Okay. How smart you are, how strong and determined you are, how kind and thoughtful and loving. We're so very proud of the person you've become, and we can't wait to see the person you'll continue to grow into. Whatever obstacles you face, I have no doubt you will rise to every occasion, and that you'll face every situation with grace and compassion, with humor and heart. And whatever you face, wherever you go, you'll know we'll always be there for you, cheering you on, and that we love you so much.
At this time, I will read the names of the deceased relatives and friends to be mentioned. First, Ansley's great-grandparents, Max and Rosalind Mazer, Abraham and Jenny Rutterman. Ansley's great-uncles, Eddie Rutterman, Philip Rutterman, and Larry Rutterman. Eduardo and Maria's parents, Eduardo Marin and Maria Marin, and Maria's husband, Michael Bunk. If you have other names you would like to add that you were thinking of at this time, please feel free to say them. I got them all. Okay, good. Yit gadol v'yit kadash shemei rabbah b'yalma divrach pirtei b'yamlik malchutei b'chayechon uvyamechon uvkaye dekol beit Yisrael Ba'gala Bizman Kari V'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mivarak Leolam Olmei Almaya. Yitbarak V'yishtabak V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudasha Barichu. Le'elam Min Kol Berchata V'shirata. Tushbechata V'nechamata. Damiran B'yalma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel. To which we say, Amen.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
So-
Jake, grab the other end a little bit, just bring it on. There we go.
All right, the national anthem of Israel is Hatikva, the Hope. Kol od balevav penima, nefesh Yehudi homiha, ufahatei mizrak kadima, ayin letzion Sophia, od love datikvateinu, hatikva shnot alpayim, liotam chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim, liotam chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Shabbat Shalom.